July 26, 1963, at 5:17 a.m., the earth beneath Skopje roared and then shattered. Within seconds, the city of stone and history was a landscape of dust and silence. Hoca'dan, barely 20 and an aspiring architect, stood amidst the ruins of the old bazaar, his hands white with the powder of fallen monuments. The Vardar River flowed on, indifferent to the fact that 80% of the city had been leveled, leaving a hollow space where a soul used to be. Help arrived from every corner of a divided world, but the true transformation began when a silent, focused man named Naoki arrived from Japan. He didn't just bring sympathy, he brought a vision of a city that could breathe and grow like a living organism. Hoca'dan was assigned as his local liaison, watching as Naoki unrolled blueprints that looked less like buildings and more like the anatomy of a future yet to be born. Naoki spoke of metabolism, the idea that a city should not be a static monument but a flexible system. He proposed a city wall of high-rise residential blocks to shield the center and a city gate to welcome the world. Hoca'dan looked at the balsa wood model they had constructed. It was brutal, sharp, and entirely alien to the Skopje he had known. It was a leap of faith into the age of concrete. Not everyone shared the vision. Anastas, an elder stonemason who had spent his life repairing the old bridges, cornered Hoca'dan near a construction site. "You are replacing our memories with gray giants," Anastas spat, his eyes fixed on the rising pillars of the new railway station. "Where is the warmth in this cold cement? You are building a fortress, not a home." Hoca'dan felt the weight of the old world pulling at the foundations of the new. To bridge the gap, Naoki took Hoca'dan to the banks of the Vardar at sunset. "Structure is not the enemy of soul, Hoca'dan," Naoki explained, watching the water reflect the harsh lines of the new buildings. "In Japan, we know that after the fire, the forest grows back stronger. This concrete is not a cage. It is the skeleton that allows the city to stand tall against the next tremor." Hoca'dan began to see the poetry in the brutalist geometry. The city became a symphony of hammers and cranes. Hoca'dan spent his days in the mud and the heat, overseeing the pouring of massive concrete slabs. He learned that there was a rhythm to the work, a collective heartbeat of thousands of workers from around the globe. Skopje was no longer just a Macedonian city. It was an international laboratory of hope, where the scars of the past were being filled with the liquid stone of tomorrow. One of the most daring structures was the new telecommunications center, a cluster of concrete towers that looked like frozen lightning. Inside the raw, gray interior, Naoki showed Hoca'dan how the light played off the textured surfaces. "See how the shadows give it depth?" Naoki whispered. They stood in the center of the geometric hall, the silence inside a stark contrast to the bustling reconstruction outside. Years passed, and the city wall finally took its place in the skyline. Hoca'dan found Anastas sitting in a new public plaza, watching children play among the modern sculptures. To Hoca'dan's surprise, the old man was smiling. "It is different," Anastas admitted, patting a smooth concrete bench. "But it is solid. My grandchildren do not fear the ceiling falling when they sleep. You gave them safety, and the city gave them a playground." As the project neared completion, Naoki prepared to return home. He and Hoca'dan stood on the roof of the new transportation center, looking out at the finished city gate. The modernist vision had merged with the spirit of the people. The gray concrete was now draped with laundry, filled with the sound of music, and painted with the colors of a vibrant life. "We didn't just rebuild a city," Naoki said. "We built a testament to survival." Today, Hoca'dan walks the streets of Skopje as an old man, his eyes always tracing the bold lines of the concrete giants. The world sometimes forgets the visionary who came from across the sea, but the buildings remember. They are the anchors of the Vardar, the gray guardians of a people who refuse to stay broken. The concrete pulse of the city beats on, a modernist anthem that proves even